Hello and welcome back to the N-Squared World Domination Society. Oh, look, it's me. Hello. Yeah, so today, as I mentioned in the last video, because I don't have the 3D printer, I'm gonna do some Lego-y review stuff. That sounds fun. So this isn't replacing Thing Explorer. Once I get the printer up and running, it'll go back to weekly. But if this is really enjoyed, I'll probably do stuff like this again. And in days like today, where it's either this or absolutely nothing, I'll definitely be covering one of the many Lego sets I have. So, quick history on the Lego modular buildings. There are currently 9, soon to be 10 is in January, with these two in the middle being counted as one set. I've got the 6th, 8th, and 9th, because for some reason the 7th they don't sell anymore. And I'm going to be reviewing this guy in the middle, Pet Shop, because this is the oldest one still currently being sold. And by God, these things get expensive. To get all 9 of them, it's gonna run you about $5,000, and that's not at retail price. That's finding really cheap bargains. And that's not pre-built, because it's Lego. Why would you buy pre-built Lego? Boxes for these things are absolutely massive. You can see this is 10,218 pieces. Oh wait, no, this is 2,032 pieces, and is set number 10218. Also, because I bought these the summer of last year, I got this little London double-decker bus thing. It says, now's the time to visit, and the brick separator, which whoever came up with that needs to get a raise. But yeah, little 211B, what does that say? Focus. 211B... Westminster? Yes, Westminster, that's what it says. And the little stuff on the back. Not a European... Actually, that's not an English license plate, I don't think. Strange. Now, for those of you who know nothing about the modular building series, this has probably surprised you. Each one of these sets has these little connectors on the side, so the buildings do snap together, including these two, like I just did there. They separate. So you can have them in any order you want, and you can even have these miles and miles and miles apart. And by miles, I mean like feet and feet. This whole table that I've used for my Thing Explorers, I think it could hold just about 4 of these modular buildings. For this particular set, you get 4 minifigures. You get little pet store owner, Average McDude. You have little Average McJane, who has a minifigure. I'm just gonna get this. The Palace Cinema, and bearing in mind there are 2 years between this and Palace Cinema, has this minifigure. Which, come on Lego, like, really, there are 2 years in between this set and this set. It's absurd. And you also get the Child Doctor, for some reason. You also get a painter who's in this building right now, and I couldn't be bothered to take him out. Now this is gonna sound weird for a, like, Lego set, but if you're kind of interested in the modular buildings and watching this to decide if you want to buy them, buy these ones because they're the oldest, unless you absolutely love one of the newer ones. Because I want to give a spoiler warning, because one of the best parts about this set was like discovering all the intricate little details inside, because I've never seen like any of the modular stuff. You have little pets and everything, so if you ever at some point watching this video decide that you want to buy these, stop watching this video and go and buy these. Let's see, I believe that you build this one first, so I'm going to start here. I have to move the camera. It's very difficult to do this because these are so big. So I'm going to split these up and make them smaller. Oh look, that's much better. Because these are all the modular buildings, you couldn't really put them in different orders. Like, you know, that doesn't really make sense. I mean, you could do it, but it doesn't make sense. So, all of buildings from this set have 3 floors and then a ceiling. Oh, that broke off. So I'm going to start with this floor. You've got, it's very plain on the sides. It does have a little bit of detail, but you're really going to want to use corner pieces for the sides of your whole town. One of my favorite things to do about this set is this letter right here, and just taking it and sliding it into the mailbox. There's something very, very satisfying about that. I don't know what, but that's immensely satisfying. And as I said, these are real interesting builds. You'd think like that would be super boring to put together, but they space it out, and it is really interesting. You've got a nice little flower garden down there, and there are these little grates on all the modulars and street lamps. Here, I'll break it off of the pet store. You get these little street lamps, and they're evenly placed, so I believe no matter how you organize your modulars, it will always make sense with these grates and street lamps. They'll be evenly spaced out, so that's a pretty cool little thing. This is part of a water drain that goes all the way up to the roof, and it follows along all the buildings. You can see right here, and there's Mr. Painterman. Let's not spoil that. Actually, in here you get things like a sofa, this little coffee table, which lifts up into the kind of bomb shelter, I suppose. You have a hat rack, this lovely little vase, and this whole window system, which is really fun to build, with these curves and how it goes up. Of course, you even have this little doorknob, which also serves to stabilize the hat rack. All the doors properly open, and you can see the lovely stairs, and this really cool swirly stair pattern that continues the whole way up. In here, it's going to be a bit hard to show off, but you've got that adorable bathroom. That toilet is one of the first things you built, and this is one of the spoiler things I was talking about. But I saw that in the instructions, I'm like, oh my god, must collect all the modulars. It was amazing. And I can't remember if I showed this off, but you've got your little back with the garbage can, which I think has some garbage in it, just little spare pieces, which they actually tell you to put in there. And the aforementioned bomb shelter, which doesn't go anywhere, but it looks nice. All of them, except for the corner buildings, at least Palace Cinema, the one I have decorated backs, and the restaurant over there has quite a fair amount of decoration on the back. So you can display these, and it looks real nice, really from any angle. I'll give a fair warning as well. The first 3 modular buildings, which I think the second one retails for like $4,000. You can get it way cheaper online, but on Amazon it's $4,000. So yeah, they don't have interiors, but everything after that does. So yeah, that'd be everything after the fire brigade set. Next up, you've got the second story, which fits on quite nicely. As you saw, it continues the windows in this little storm drain, and it's all very rather plain on the sides, and the back has this little garden, continues the storage up. It's got the little windowsill, and of course a pretty plain front, but it is the second story of a building. It's kind of cool to see the structural supports you build. So down here is where the stairs, so these stairs come out right here, and so it continues this lovely spiral staircase pattern. And by the way, these lock, so like you can't twist them any other way, so it's like at a set angle. This is actually super easy to do. You've got the painter who is painting the house currently. I'll take him out. So yeah, this is the other minifigure you get with this set. So I put a little gap in his rolling stick against the wall, so so you can't really notice it. This story is rather plain. It's got I assume that's painting supplies. And this is just another window, and I suppose an actual like story or painting like this, you'd probably empty a lot of the furniture, but it is kind of plain. This is probably the plainest room out of all of the modular buildings. Next up, we've got the third story, which has the balcony which people can stand on, and it has this nice little back corner garden area. It's also got a little stained glass window and this lantern. Of course, all the doors open, and this these patio doors actually open up so people can step out and stand on the little balcony, which I don't have anyone doing that, and they do open better with these little things. I just forgot how it works. I like these little tent style kind of fabric lining. A few of the other buildings have it, I think. And you've just got this nice, interesting little window with these flower bits down the rim. The storm drain also stops. You can see right there. So I assume this is kind of where the gutter would go. Actually, yeah, this building has a little bit of the lip right out there, but other than that, it's completely flat, not fat, and yeah. Next up, you've got the roof. Nothing special about it. You can't really get up there, and that just goes on top. Next up, we've got the pet shop, which I like to put on the right side of the house, and it's got a very plain back. It's got a little brush in this bin and a mouse. You get a lot of animals with this set, and it has kind of like a tapering where it goes a bit thinner. The first floor of the pet shop is really quite interesting. These stairs can fold back. I'm gonna take these out before they fly somewhere I don't want them to be. But yeah, you get a little dog, you get a cat down in there, you get a frog you can see on that shelf, 2 parrots, and I believe that's it. You also have a mailbox as well, but it doesn't open. You have the nice glass doors, which you have to be careful not to get fingerprints on. And this interesting little staircase that goes up to the 2nd floor. There is a door on the 2nd floor, so it's not just like a completely open house. Now this pet sign, like I didn't realize how it was built just by looking at the pictures, but it's actually, if you can see the back, these little bars, and you build kind of one by one flat pieces, and those flat pieces will hook onto the bars. So this is 1, 2, 3. So this E is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 one by one pieces stacked on top of each other, and then some thin bits. It's really interesting signs. I love building them. You get this kind of stone frog and this lovely lamp. These lampposts, by the way, have invisible minifigure heads as lights, and that's quite interesting to see. You've got a front desk, which I actually believe, yeah, several $100s in the register. And then that's it. The stairs, you know, they clip onto this thing, so you can't fold them too far forward. And that's pretty much it for a first floor. Oh, you do also get a fish in a horribly small tank. The 2nd floor has these nice little garden beds and is pretty plain. All the other sides, you just get this little window thing and a hole where the stairs come up. So those stairs on the 1st floor lead out here, and you've got a nice little kind of living room area with a clock, which I did make sure all the clocks in my modular buildings are the same time, because I'm that type of guy. You've got this fireplace, which actually continues all the way up to the roof segment. You can see it'll eventually line up the whole fireplace. A nice little coffee and chair area with an interesting kitchen, a glass little, I don't know what you'd call that, stove thing, a sink, and coffee brewer. It's a really interesting little piece. What really makes this interesting is if you put the 3rd story on top of it, which does look really nice with all these windows and the tapered roofs that go in and out. The way, I think they did that with different slopes or something, so it's a really interesting roof. And of course it tapers in. There's the back, but what's really interesting is the 3rd floor has no floor. So it's kind of like one open room, and you can look down on the balcony, and I really like that. So the 3rd floor is just this bed, which looks really nice, that lamp, and this floor right there. Everything else just looks down on the house, and I really like that. It's super interesting. And you can also see that the chimney does continue up, kind of go in right there under the flat piece, so that when you put the roof over it, that's the chimney. So it actually lines up and is cool. Unlike the chimney in that house, I don't think it really... Actually, no, there wasn't a fireplace, but there is a chimney at the top that doesn't actually go to anything. You've also got a skylight, which would be kind of annoying, I suppose, if you were trying to sleep, but the pillow's not directly under the sun, I suppose. Now, of course, all that's left to do is snap these two together, and then you can display your minifigures. So like this guy is kind of just I think how I had this guy kind of just coming out of the shop saying hello. Girl riding down on her bike, not on the street because that's dangerous. And this lady had just kind of shut her door and was walking away. And then you slowly create a lively looking town as you collect these modular buildings. And that's it, I suppose. This is... Oh, I forgot to say, I think I picked this up for about $125. Let me check. No, I paid $150 for this at the Lego Shop website, and about $160 for the other two. I think the more modern ones are $170 that are still being sold. And of course, this will probably be $20 million after Lego stops selling it, because that's how this works. Yeah, let me know if you like this. I can do it for the other two buildings. I'll definitely do a Thing Explorer next week, and then maybe one of these the next week, like alternate it until I get the printer back. But let me know what you thought about it. So, alright, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking and sharing it. Subscribe so you can catch all the amazing robotics, electronics, and 3D printing projects I have planned. Thanks for watching.